What's up, everybody? Welcome once again. Another episode of Heavy in the Paint. Gerald Brown here. Excited about my guest tonight. But before anything, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Also, check me out on SiriusXM NBA Radio every Saturday, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. with my co-host, Eastern Standard Time, Rick Mahorn, as well as you can hear me on Friday nights on Mad Dog Sports Radio, channel 82. The nightcap. So 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., 10 p.m. to 1 a.m., excuse me. You can check me out on Mad Dog Sports Radio. But hey, without further ado, this brother has been very, very inspiring. This brother took an idea and took this idea and made it a reality. All Ball TV's Tucson. He's here talking about All Ball, and I'm so happy for him because you know what? If you want to talk basketball 24/7, 365, 367 leap year, All Ball TV is where you need to be because he gives you the real, and it's unbelievable. I see Kenny Anderson just laying in the bed when he be talking about basketball, laying down. I'm like, Kenny, get up, Kenny. You come on, man. Get up, Kenneth. Kenneth, come on, Kenneth, get up.
Right.
Tucson, hey, thanks for joining me, man. Really appreciate you taking time out. And let's get right into it, man. You're a diehard Knicks fan. You don't make no bones about it.
Yes.
The team is now pretty much at 500. They haven't gone on that sort of so-called long winning streak that you know would say, hey, this is paying dividends after that trade. How concerned are you that this team is still trying to figure things out real early in the season?
First and foremost, before I get started, I just want to tell you thank you. Appreciate you for having me on your platform. All Ball TV wouldn't exist without the help of you, my brother. So I'm there for you anytime you need me, no matter what it is, man. Appreciate you. I'm very concerned. I'm not one of those. I'm a diehard Knicks fan, and I can be nuts and delusional, but I also can be realistic. I'm very concerned. Us being 3-3, we should be 5-1. We shouldn't have lost to Houston, and we shouldn't have lost to Cleveland. And I'm not giving no excuses, Gerald. I'm not giving us 15, 20 games. I watch guys like Buddy Hield fit seamlessly in Golden State. So it's possible that you can go to a new team and things work out. This is on Tom Thibodeau and Jalen Brunson. Nobody's a bigger Jalen Brunson fan than me. I'm a Jalen Brunson stan. But these first 6 games, he has been playing great basketball. We traded for Cat and Bridges, and they're playing okay. But I'm very concerned. You know, Tibbs played them guys too many minutes. You know, and it's like every game we play like it's a playoff game, and I don't know how that's going to last a whole season. So to answer your initial, I'm very concerned about my Knicks.
Yeah, I mean, you have to look at it from the standpoint of, you know, these guys got to gradually get going. And let's be honest, the Eastern Conference is not really like the Western Conference. So, you know, the biggest thing is, like you said before, is really trying to minimize the minutes that Tibbs is putting on those guys' legs, man. You know, you're going to have to need those guys close to as fresh as possible come playoff time, because that's when the real season starts. But, you know, I agree with you. You know, I was surprised the loss at Cleveland simply because, you know, Cleveland, they've had Cleveland's number, right? From regular season, postseason, and it carried over 2 years ago. And It just seems like, you know what, they're still trying to figure things out, having Cat there and involved. But when you look at that Eastern Conference, too, you look at them and you say, wait a minute, Cleveland is sitting up there at 8-0. You have them undefeated thus far, you know. Boston has been pretty much Boston. They look like they have just continued on, and this is game 10 from last year of the playoffs.
Right.
And then after that, it's just been kind of everybody trying to figure out how to fit in. Now, we've had that injury that I always talked about. If it's a team, which team would benefit from another team's injury, maybe a top-tier team? We've had that already with the Orlando Magic with the injury to Paolo Banchero. Who do you think really would benefit the most from this injury, which now has forced, Orlando back to 2 games under 500 at this juncture?
Well, it should be my Knicks. To be honest with you, we notice every season in the NBA, a lot of teams, they catch breaks, and there's also a little bit of luck involved. And look how the season's starting out. I hope Ben Carroll can hurry up and recover and get healthy because that young man is a great basketball player. But that sets Orlando Magic back. Look at the problems Philadelphia is having. Look at the problems Milwaukee is having. Miami is not the juggernaut and the sneaky team that they used to be, a la the regular season. Now we know they're a different team in the playoffs, but these are teams that you thought the start of the season was just going to go crazy. So for me, I think my Knicks should be the team that benefits from something like this. But once again, a Tom Thibodeau coach team, 1 minute we look great, 1 minute we don't. And just to piggyback off what you said, last season and probably the season before, a lot of games Tom Thibodeau lost us being up double digits. So the way we lost to Cleveland, that wasn't surprising. Whether we had Cat or Julius Randle with Dante DiVincenzo, these are the things that Tibbs has to fix if he wants to get to the next level.
Yeah, you're right about that. Too, when you look at Philadelphia is just really, really, I wouldn't even say a mess, because you have a situation where Embiid is suspended. Paul George he's coming back now. He's going to play against the Clippers.
Right.
When you look at this, what do you make of this whole start for the Sixers, and how difficult will it be, do you think, for them to recover from this?
Well, it's a guy that nobody blames, and it's Daryl Morey. Daryl Morey is a mess, man. And he flies under the radar. Nobody blames him for anything. This is his mess. Look at the problems with Philly, starting with when they had Doc Rivers and Ben Simmons over there. They had Jimmy Butler. They had James Harden. And then now they basically turned into the Clippers of the East.
Yeah.
And it's not a coincidence that Embiid is suspended, but you know what game they say he's supposed to come back, right? Tuesday against my Knicks. Come on, man. It's not even, they're not even hiding it. It's all about the money. It's all about advertisement. But Philly is a mess, Gerald. And I'm going to be honest, Paul George and Embiid, you can't trust them to stay healthy. I don't wish harm or hurt on anybody, but those guys just can't stay healthy. And until Embiid takes his team to the next level and gets past the second round, I don't think they'll never be a threat. So with that mixed with that GM over there that's just a mess, listen, man, they may have to break that whole thing down and maybe build around Maxey and keep Paul George and let Embiid go.
Yeah, I think that we're set up for an interesting trade deadline going into the NBA offseason next year, where I think clearly, look, Milwaukee right now is at the bottom. They look horrible. And, they're doing this minus injuries. There's just not a good fit. And then on top of that, look, it's been reported that there's some rumblings that Giannis wants out, and trying to find a place for him where you can get draft picks and try to start building. Well, if Giannis goes, I think the first domino is going to be Damian Lillard, because of the amount of money that he's going to be owed for the next couple of years. And then I look at the partnership or the fracture of that partnership down in Miami with Jimmy Butler and Pat Riley. And look, Jimmy Butler wants a franchise. He wants a max deal to showcase that he's a franchise player. But when you look at this team, yeah, they got lucky a couple years back and got to the NBA Finals and stuff, but he hasn't played that well. And really, this doesn't seem like he puts that much emphasis on the regular season. I look at those three guys right off the bat, and I might throw Embiid unless things get real difficult there. I look at perhaps Butler, Giannis, or Butler and Lillard being traded this trade deadline. How surprised would you be if we had seen something like that take place?
So I would be surprised if Dame Lillard is traded, because Giannis advocated for that. I got to give a big shout out to Kenny Anderson. We had him on the platform last night, and he said something that hardly nobody said during this whole thing with Giannis. You know, saying that he's not happy. You asked for this. Y'all fired Griffin. You got Doc in. Y'all traded for Drew Holiday. Y'all wasn't patient with Dante DiVincenzo. You got what you asked for. You got to thug it out. Don't leave them high and dry, because now where does that leave Dame Lillard? And look at this irony, Joe. Dame Lillard wanted to go to Miami. Now Giannis, one of his destinations is Miami. So, you know, it's a lot of weird stuff going on. The Miami Heat thing with Jimmy Butler, I'm gonna be honest. Pat Riley in the city of Miami, y'all gotta let him go. Y'all tried it, y'all can't get over the hump. But I'm gonna be honest, you know, you're a Miami Heat fan. I need you to help me understand, why is it so difficult for people to want to go to Miami? Miami should be, you know, a destination. Is it that Pat Riley may be a little bit too stern in today's game?
Yeah, I think clearly that's the case. Look, it's Riley's way or no way at all. You know, the foundation of that organization is really solid. I look at them and maybe San Antonio, where you have organization structured into a place where, look, you're not going to come in there and talk greasy and grimy about the head coach and try to get him fired. No, we are a team. We're solid. This is how we do it. This is what they call Heat culture. And the interesting thing you mentioned about Giannis going to Miami, well, you got to look at this from the standpoint. If anybody's going to be traded for Giannis, you're going to have the monies to match it up and the draft capital. So if Jimmy Butler, who, oh, by the way, went to Marquette University, you trade him, he's on an expiring contract. He has to come to Milwaukee and showcase that, you know what, he's worth a franchise player contract. That is a great option. I got another one that's kind of sneaky. If you can figure out a way, and this is the Clippers, and I know they gave a lot of ton of capital to the Pacers, but if you're able to get Giannis there and pair him up with, I don't know, you trade James Harden, I don't know, somehow, some way, but you put Giannis perhaps there out in the West Coast, he's going to have to go to a major market, right?
Yes.
It's time to get him out of there. He's going to have to go to a major market. But I think clearly it's all about monies. And I think Dame, you know, wherever these two guys go, they're going to have three guys, that is, you're going to have to make the money match. So that's why when you look at a team like Miami, you got Jimmy Butler there. It makes sense that if he ended up back up in Milwaukee, you know, it's pretty much a situation where you're kind of starting over for them.
Hey, you made a great point, but the Giannis thing is very interesting, right? Because I've been saying this now for almost 2 seasons. Giannis is too big for that city.
Yeah.
What's that saying? A big fish in a small pond?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Big fish in a small pond. And, you know.
Listen, Giannis in a big market, a LA, a New York, a Chicago, listen, a Golden State. Listen, man, these guys have opportunities to become billionaires if they put themselves in the right situation, in the right city, in the right circumstances. To me, there's 2 places Giannis can go where his career would thrive and he can put his name with the greats. Is either New York or LA. Simple and plain. If he brings a championship to the Clippers or to the Knicks, his name will go up with the greats. So his situation is very interesting. I think Dame and Jimmy Butler, no matter where they go, I'm gonna be honest, Jimmy is not going to get max money. I think that's already done with. This is why Miami is not paying him yet. Y'all been to a couple finals, Eastern Conference finals, but still, you know, Jimmy's not enough. So I agree with you. It's going to be very interesting to see what's going to happen before this trade deadline, because my opinion, a lot of these guys are not happy. And I don't think what's going on with Embiid can be fixed, because once you kind of turn on the fan base like that, and once you put your hands on a reporter, psychologically and mentally, you basically told him, I'm done.
Well, I think winning cures all ills. You know, look, if he comes back, him and Paul George, they get it going, and you got Tyrese Maxey there. I mean, I think they can figure this out. But clearly, I agree with you. Look, I think clearly this doesn't work out, I would not be surprised that Embiid says, "Hey, I want to go somewhere else." He's gotten his money,
Right.
and then basically, you know what? They start anew with Tyrese Maxey being the focal point and build around him. But I don't know if Daryl Morey survives this one. If this situation goes left and it doesn't turn out well, and look, I don't know how long Paul George would be there, but Daryl Morey, I don't see him really surviving this if this thing doesn't pick up well and stuff. It could be a major problem moving forward, though. Two, before we get into the Western Conference, I want to make sure, again, All Ball TV on YouTube. It's all on social media. Talk about how you got started, All Ball TV.
Yes, well, I have to, I'm going to try to be as quick as possible, but I'm going to try to
take your time. This your
baby.
Let's
go. So I've always been a guy that I've been in love with basketball since I was a kid. I played, of course, I wasn't good enough to make it to the next level, but I played high school ball. Never played college ball because, got caught up into the streets. But no matter what, my love for basketball was just, that's what my neighborhood was. When Biggie said either you're slinging or you got a wicked jump shot, that's for real. And you from Harlem, so man, we argue on the corner on the blocks all day, all night about basketball. So I got to give a big shout out to my guy, Eggy. Every time I run into Eggy, we argue and talk about basketball. And he actually said, you need to start a podcast. And I said, I don't know how, but I'm always on YouTube. And he introduced me to you. And I remember me talking to you and going, yo, man, I want to start YouTube. And you said, yo, you got to build a fan base. And I said, how do you do that? And you've been there every step of the way. You said, hey, man, Facebook, Instagram, you even told me about some of the Twitter spaces and things like that to jump in those things. And I took all of your advice. And I'm here now, and All Ball TV now has grown to where, I've networked and grew relationship with guys like you, Theo Ratliff, Antoine Walker, Kenny Anderson, Alexander Acker, Keith Kloss, and the list goes on and on, the overseas guys. So it's really grew to something. And like I said, we on YouTube, on Instagram, on Twitter, Facebook, everything is All Ball TV. And, I've always wanted to build a platform to talk real sports from a New York perspective. Everybody knows when you from New York, the guy that can't do it talks the most mess. The shortest guy will tell a guy that's 7 foot, I could beat you one-on-one. The guy that can't fight will tell a pro boxer, I'll whip you, you know what. So I wanted to bring that to social media, just the rawness, the realness of how New York guys talk sports and how much we love sports. And, it's no disrespect to nobody, but this is just our New York flavor. And, it got me here to be on live camera with my brother, Jerry Brown.
No, man, I appreciate it, man. Again, you give me a lot of credit and I appreciate that. But you know what? You put the time in, you put the work in. And, I've said this to you via text as well as verbally. And I'll say it again. I'm so proud of you because, you took your idea and made it a reality and then growing it to now you having a Rolodex that you're continuing to evolve and develop. And, again, just authentic basketball talk is great. And then, having people that's coming on is very, very inspiring, man. And you know what? I always tell you, keep striving, man. Keep striving and stuff like that because All Ball TV is going to be something, man. It is already something, but it's going to be on a different platform and bigger and better. And when you look back on it, man, you say, this is where I came from in humble beginnings. And this is where we're at now. And how can people find out about it again? It's All Ball.
On all platforms, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, is All Ball Space TV. On all platforms, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. And I do lives on Instagram, but Monday through Friday, every Monday through Friday, every weekday, 6 p.m. Eastern time, we're live on YouTube. And we talk a lot of Knicks. We have guests up there, and we also react to certain guys talking sports, or we just come up with our own topics. Yeah.
Now, I want to get into the Western Conference for you, let you get on out of here.
Yes.
Obviously, what's been very surprising to me has been the Phoenix Suns. They have been one that they've been scoring. But before them, I got to say the Golden State Warriors. I didn't see them coming out being 6-1. They're playing as we're taping right now. But I didn't see this team coming out as strong as they have. Some of that I could say maybe is a product of the schedule, but still in all, this is the Golden State Warriors. I had put them in the ground, put the tombstone, and said, you know what? I even said that things would get so bad that quietly Steph Curry would ask to be moved in the offseason. And I had the perfect place for him, and that being Orlando Magic. So I'm just kind of surprised. That's my surprise team out west thus far. Who's yours?
I have to agree with you. Everything you said, I literally said the same thing. And one thing with me, when I'm wrong and I make a mockery of myself, I'm always wrong, and I'm fine with that. The Golden State Warriors, I was dead wrong. And like you said, I don't care who they play. They play who's on the schedule. And even with the teams they play, I did not see them being 6-1. Now, I've seen them being 1-6, but we forgot they have championship pedigree. And I have to give big props to Steve Kerr. I'm not a big Steve Kerr fan. And, we've had discussions if Steve Kerr's overrated or this or that because of the roster. But this is what good coaching is. He's playing 10 to 12 guys. And he's working with what he has, and it just goes to show you when you have a team that believe in you and respect you, they're going to work hard for you. So I agree with you. The Golden State Warriors, I did not see them being this good, even though it was early. Listen, I also said the same thing. I think Steph Curry needs to leave Golden State. So right now, dead wrong about that. I definitely agree. Golden State Warriors is a shock. But you said the Phoenix Suns. They're kind of tricky, man. They've been missing a point guard. They got the young man Johnson over there now, who's legit. I really like him. He was the backup over there in Memphis, which I thought he should have been starting. They should have slid Ja Morant to the 2 to try to turn him into a mini Allen Iverson, if you want my opinion. But the Phoenix Suns, until they get out that first round, I'm not believing they hype. They have the roster to have the record that they have. They have Kevin Durant, Bradley Beal, and Devin Booker on the same team. So for me, I'm not surprised with the record. I will be surprised, though, if they get bumped in the first round again. There's no excuse now. You have a point guard. You have a good coach. Get the job done. So I'm not surprised with them, but definitely surprised by the Golden State Warriors.
Yeah. When you look at the Denver Nuggets, they sit a game over 500. You still look at a guy like Jokic. He's, again, he's Jokic. I just look at this team and I say to myself, and I said this when the season started, before the season started, I wasn't sure if the window of opportunity had closed for them because a couple years back, they went from being the hunters to the hunted. And then how Minnesota, which was built to defeat them, manhandled them last year. I just said, this team has probably run its course. And it just seems like they're kind of, in a sense, in that middle of the pack in the Western Conference. When you look at this team, do you think the window of opportunity for them to win a championship is come and gone?
Yes, I think it's been coming on. And I said something that everybody flamed me for it, but now they're starting to realize what I was saying. The Denver Nuggets ruined the Joker's legacy and career. They had an opportunity to make Joker probably top 15, top 10 greatest basketball player of all time. They were supposed to build around that young man like what the Chiefs do with Patrick Mahomes. Joker is literally the last couple of years been the best player in the NBA. He has the last 3 MVPs out of the last 4 years. After they won that championship, they get rid of their players. Then the next season, they get rid of their players. The window was closed, Gerald. I'm sorry, it's shut. It's shut closed. Because look at the emergence of OKC in Minnesota.
Yeah.
So for me, the reason why the window may be a tad bit open, the Lakers and Clippers, like I said, Clippers with injury with Kawhi. I don't believe in the Lakers. You know me. I never believe in the Lakers. But that's a whole nother story. But I just, like I said, to me, it depends on matchups. If Denver could get in the playoffs and play against teams like Sacramento or Memphis, teams that they have the advantage over because they have the best player on the team, maybe. But if they run into like a OKC, maybe a Phoenix or a Dallas, they're in trouble. So yeah, I think the window closed, man, and I just think listen, the Joker had an opportunity to really do something real special. Just imagine if the Joker had 3 rings, 3 finals MVPs, and 3 out of the last 4 years MVPs. Just imagine it.
I mean, think about it this way. I mean, it's not really a destination of free agents. You get Aaron Gordon. I mean, it's Denver. And I say that respectfully. It's Denver. I don't know. I think matchups, you're right. If they match up against the Lakers, look, they're going to beat the Lakers, right? Lakers don't have anything to really stop the Joker. And it just seems like, you know what, Minnesota, you mentioned about OKC. Like OKC is doing this without Isaiah Hartenstein. And You talk about a guy that I said that got robbed for at least an MVP trophy last year. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has come back like he never stopped hooping, and he has put the league on notice. Yes. And it's just been a level of consistency. No, he hasn't had the Ja Morant moment and stuff like that. All he has done is go out there and still be this consistent basketball player. And it's kind of overlooked just because of the fact is that he's playing in the West, by the way, in Oklahoma City.
Yeah, I totally agree. But I think this year people are going to be put on notice. OKC is a dangerous team, man. And, what's the owners over there, the GMs, the guys? Is it Presti? Listen, they did it again.
Yeah.
They done it again, man. And remember, if I'm not mistaken, they have the Clippers pick.
Yes. They got like, I think it was something like between 7, 8 first round draft picks still.
Right. So
they're just continuing. And I mean, not to cut you off.
Yeah, okay.
You're talking about a guy that I put up there now, and I'm starting to put him in that same space with the late, great Jerry West. Because to build a team,
yes,
Durant, Harden, Westbrook, and then all of a sudden have to reshuffle. And yeah, it took some time. But then you come back, and yeah, they acquired SGA via trade. But to have the pieces that they brought in, Chet Holmgren, Williams, Jalen Williams, both of those guys, and just continuously to add pieces to that, I think has been phenomenal. And this is a small market franchise that clearly they're always going to have to be in a situation maybe every 5 to 7 to 8 years because of salaries and stuff. They're going to always have to be in a situation, make moves, make adjustments. And they got to win now, knowing that the fact of the matter is they can't keep everybody, but that's why they have those draft picks. I put him somewhere up in that conversation with the late, great Jerry West in terms of general manager skills.
Hey, man, you hit that right on the nose, man. I totally agree. We don't see this happen. This is like deja vu. Certain things you just don't see happen.
Yeah.
They were patient with Chet because, other organizations would have gave up, wouldn't have known what to do with him. Like I said, they know how to, work through the draft. And then they go get Hartenstein. They traded for Caruso. Listen, man, SGA this year, they're going to be so dangerous in the playoffs. So dangerous. So I agree with you. I don't think he's flying under the radar. It's guys like us that know. He flies under the radar with the people that, they look at the entertainment and the hype. That young man is the real deal. And from last season up until now, he's top 2, top 3 best player in the NBA. And the way he has those guys, it's like a family over there. And the way they believe in him and allow him to be the leader and to be the best player, listen, man, that team is going to be dangerous. And, we just looked at something where the average age for all the NBA teams, no team average age is 30 years old. So that's going to work in their favor. They're not going to have to play a team that has veterans or has that history. So listen, it's their time right now. It's their time right now.
Yeah. Before I let you get on out, it's my last question. There are teams out there that perhaps might be overhyped. right? You know, it's like overhyped and stuff. Give me a team that you have in the Western Conference, or if you want, I could give you my team and see if you agree with it. I'm gonna tell you that I think the Memphis Grizzlies are overhyped. You know, Ja Morant is an unbelievable talent, but does he move the needle to the point that, again, you are a better team? And my biggest question with Ja Morant and the Memphis Grizzlies, they remind me so much of that Lob City LA Clippers teams and stuff like that,
Right.
where they were outstanding regular season, but when the game slows down in the playoffs and you got to execute in a half-court set, they don't look good. And what I witnessed a couple years back with a young Ja Morant and all that stuff, the patience, the inability to shoot from the perimeter, it was constantly looking for the highlight, constantly looking to get out and transition and score. I don't know if they're disciplined enough to be able to be a team that if you look at them and say, yeah, they could be very dangerous. Keep in mind, Phoenix, I think that was the year when they finished too. It was Phoenix, the Phoenix Suns, who had Chris Paul, who got hurt,
Right.
slid down. They were able to take advantage of that. And I think they ended up, if I'm not mistaken, somewhere second round Western Conference or somewhere near the Western Conference, the semis. But I look at Memphis and I'm just saying, I think they're a little overhyped. Ja Morant, unbelievable talent. But does he make you guys better that you can sit back and say, yeah, they're a threat to get to the Western Conference Finals? I don't think so at all, especially with SGA. And I might throw a little Memphis in there, but I'm definitely going with, as far as overhyped, Memphis.
Dan, that you hit the mark on that. I'm gonna go to LA Lakers. Because when the LA Lakers win, everybody say they're contenders. You know, they get JJ Redick, people, you know, say he's the next Phil Jackson. We're not saying rings wise, but they say the way he could break down the game and his basketball IQ. Then of course they got LeBron, they got AD. So for me, I think the LA Lakers, man, is the biggest pretenders in the West by far. Because once again, you have a guy that some people consider the GOAT, and when AD is healthy, whether we like him personally or not, he's probably the best player in the NBA. There's no defender better than him. And what he can do offensively is great. But like now, you see he's hurt. So for me, I think it's the Lakers, because every game they win, people go berserk. But then when they lose, they get all the excuses in the book. So I'm going to go with the Lakers. But there's also a sleeper team, and it's the Phoenix Suns. I think they're very hyped. And, you know, it's excuse after excuse with them too. You know, guy like Kevin Durant met that magnitude, a guy like Devin Booker, those guys be getting swept in the first round or lose, and nobody says anything. So I think, you know, it could, for me, it's Lakers / Phoenix Suns, most overhyped teams in the West.
I agree with you that with the Phoenix, because I mean they're not deep with the bench, and the biggest thing is that yeah, they have three incredible stars and Bradley Beal, Kevin Durant, and Devin Booker. But I think clearly if they lose one of those guys to injuries for any point in time and they have to really go to that bench is not strong enough or deep enough simply because you got three max players on that team. I really don't believe in them. They'll score, but I don't know if they can have an effect on the defensive side. Give me, and I know I said the last question, but this is the last one, 30 seconds. Give me a sleeper team in the East, sleeper team in the West.
Sleeper team in the East, I'm gonna go Chicago Bulls. I know Lonzo Ball is hurt, but a true sleeper, I'm gonna go Chicago Bulls. Sleeper team in the West, I'm gonna go Houston Rockets.
I'm gonna go with you in regards to you know, I don't know. I mean, Cleveland, I don't think everybody expected Cleveland to be as good as they are right now. But you know what? I'm going to have to jump on maybe that Chicago Bulls simply because, again, I don't think Indiana is going to be able to repeat what they did last year. I think they caught a lot of teams off guard. Right. And clearly, you know, they're struggling right now. I definitely agree with you when it comes to the Houston Rockets. Keep in mind, this was a team that got hot late in the season and put a lot of pressure on the Golden State Warriors.
Yeah,
really hunt them down and almost caught them to get in the play-in tournament. I don't know, maybe you could say a little of the Golden State Warriors just because of the start they got off, but I just like the fact is that you have Emi Udoka has a strong presence, especially forcing guys to commit to that defensive side of the ball.
Yes.
And outside of Jalen Green, you got Alfred Sengun, who has been unbelievable. And
Wow.
so it remains. But listen, too, I really, really appreciate you, brother.
Yes.
All the best. Definitely
Yes.
let everybody know where they can catch the shows and catch up with you on the social media platforms.
Yes, one more time, man. All Ball TV, All Ball Space TV, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. We live on YouTube Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern time to 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. That's once again YouTube live, 6 p.m. Eastern to 7:30 p.m. Eastern, Monday through Friday weekdays, and you never know who's gonna pop up. And before I go, Joe Brown, brother for life, appreciate you always. And anytime you need me, my brother, I'm here. And your platform is great. And listen, man, I know you're a great, humble, low dude, but you're doing great things. You're doing great work. And please keep up the great work because you're inspiration to guys like me, my brother.
Well, you know what, man? Thank you so much. And I appreciate that. And just get ready. I'm going to put you on the Sirius XM because we're going to need you to talk some of that Knick stuff real
Let's
soon.
do it.
Appreciate it. All Ball TV right here. Heavy in the Paint. Peace.